Hi, uh, I want to tell you about something very important about communication. So, communication is very important. I know you all understand in different life scenarios, in different life situations. If there is no proper communication, then in many situations the outcome that a particular person wants or desires or perceives, it doesn't happen. All right, so in many situations the quality of work, the quality of the work's outcome, everything is depending on the communication, the effectiveness and the efficiency of communication. All right. Now, as now communication is very important, what I feel is if I want to break communication into parts, all right, one particular part that belongs to communication, that is actually a kind of a it is a kind of a block which belongs to the channel of communication. This particular part which I am right now about to discuss, according to me, is the major differentiator of a good communication, of a poor communication, of an average communication. Do you want to know what that very important part is that actually belongs to the, or uh, that actually decides the overall effectiveness of the communication? It is listening. How much you are able to listen properly, it will eventually decide how you are communicating, what you are understanding, and the overall architecture of the communication model. All right. So, effective listening is very important for meaningful, productive, and successful communication. And what are the downsides? Like, if you are not an effective listener, if an individual doesn't have proper effective listening, what are the downsides of it? If an individual is unable to focus in their listening abilities, in their listening, then that individual will fail to pay proper attention to their current situation. If the individual is unable to focus on their listening, then that individual will misinterpret and misunderstand the actual information which is being communicated. If an individual is unable to focus in their listening, then that individual will perceive the other person, that is the communicator, to whom he or she is communicating, in a wrong way. If an individual is unable to focus in their listening, then that individual will communicate incorrect information to the other person. Probability will be definitely there. If an individual is unable to focus in their listening, then that person will fail to participate in correct, accurate, proper dialogue exchange. If an individual is unable to focus in their listening, then that particular individual, that person will provide a wrong perception about their own self to the other person, that is, to whom they are communicating. So, these are all the downsides of poor listening skills, poor listening abilities. And according to me, if your listening skills, if your listening abilities are not effective, is not effective, then according to me, it is poor. Listening ability has to be or have to be absolutely efficient and effective. And believe me, as easy as it sounds, that okay, you might think that, oh, my listening abilities are absolutely perfect. Anyone might think, whoever is watching this video will think that no, they will think, or they will say to themselves that, yeah, I know my listening abilities is very good, I know that. But is it good? Are you sure that your listening skills are very effective? Are you sure that whatever downsides I have just mentioned in this particular video so far, do you feel that you do not have any of these downsides, or you have not faced in your life any of such downsides that all relates to your communication quality because of your listening ability? Now, that is for you to understand, that is for you to decide, that is for you to introspect. What I want to teach you, or what I want to share with you as a knowledge, a very, very highly useful, factful, truthful knowledge in this particular video is, what are the 11 common barriers towards effective listening? It means, what are the most common and most popular barriers? They are 11 in numbers, which can obstruct and greatly reduce your effectiveness and efficiency in listening. So I want to share with you all of these 11 barriers. All right. Again, for knowledge purpose, I want to tell you that all of these 11 barriers has or had been recognized by the very famous American psychologist Albert Ellis. All right, so these are also known as Ellis's barriers towards effective listening. I think the pronunciation is Albert Ellis, Ellis. It's not Elias. So what are the 11 barriers to effective listening? I want all of you to learn. I want all of you to understand that. And then try to understand whether you are a victim to any of these 11 barriers. Whether any of these 11 barriers had been causing a problem towards or to your listening abilities. Try to understand this, whether any of these 11 barriers is currently or are currently creating an obstruction to you, which prevents you from listening properly to others. Let's proceed further and let's unfold what are these 11 barriers to effective listening. Barrier number 1: listening to more than one voice at a time. Barrier number 2: finding the communicator attractive and over connecting with them. Barrier number 3: finding the communicator unattractive and disconnecting with them. Barrier number 4, driven more by being right than listening, hearing, and understanding. Barrier number 5, over identifying with an idea instead of trying it on for size. Barrier number 6, trying to remember or memorize information instead of understanding and applying it in your life. Barrier number 7, sympathizing with someone instead of empathizing with them. Barrier number 8, allowing prejudices and preferences to undermine the learning process. Barrier number 9, having preconceived ideas or expectations of what you will hear. Barrier number 10, being distracted by obvious factors like noise, sound, mobile phones, etc. etc. And the last barrier, barrier number 11, is listening more to what might be said instead of actively listening to accurately understanding, hearing of what actually is being said. So these are the 11 barriers which creates a hurdle, which creates an obstruction to or towards listening effectively or towards effective listening. All right. So if any one of you you feel or you understand or you believe that yes, you might be operating from any of these barriers, or any of these barriers, might be one or might be more, might be causing a hindrance towards your listening ability, towards your listening effectiveness, then you have to try and you have to give an effort to remove these barriers while or when you are listening to others. So I hope this video will make you consciously aware about this very important information. I hope this video will enable you to be a more focused and active listener. I hope this video will enable you to be an effective and efficient communicator. I hope this video will enable you to have a very good idea about whatever has been said, discussed by me, and in turn you can further educate others, you can further enable others towards being an effective communicator, towards being an effective, efficient listener. So that was all which I wanted to communicate in this particular video. Okay, so I hope you all stay well, take care, be healthy, be wise, and be happy.